go ahead and do roll to determine that we do not have a quorum? Is that how that will work?
Yeah, I think so. We can just move through it normally.
Okay. That sounds great.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Do I call the meeting to order?
Yeah.
Sorry. I call the meeting to order, and I will pass it to Courtney for a roll call.
Okay. Thanks, Katie. So, Vaughn Jones, not here. Looks like we don't have anyone from DFPC. Amy Moyer let us know that she's not going to be able to make it. John Ring.
Present.
Hey, John.
Hey.
Commissioner Jody Shattuck McNally. Looks like didn't make it. Brett Wolk also let us know that he won't be able to make it today. Katie McGrath Novak.
Here.
Hi, Katie. And Commissioner Veronica Medina.
Here.
Nice to see you, Commissioner. So unfortunately, we do not have quorum today, so we won't be able to vote on anything, including the last meeting minutes.
Okay, yeah, so we'll go ahead and skip agenda item number 2. Allison, did you have a update from the WWIRC work group?
Yeah, I can provide a brief update on what's going on with the work group. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. The work group action team continues to meet on a frequent basis, and we are, you might remember, maybe it was I'm so sorry, maybe it was last summer was our last really bringing together like a leadership roundtable, and we're considering, that's what's basically in talk right now, is the thinking about when we want to bring together another leadership roundtable. So that's big on top of mind. But in addition, in the background, and I'm not a part of this subgroup right now, Katie, but the forest restoration economy piece of the work group is really being talked about a lot, and how we learn more and gain more information on that piece. And so there is also talk about putting together a forest restoration economy workshop at some point. And so I was going to dive more into those conversations as they started to evolve, but I can just see some real great connection and learning opportunities with that piece and with the Forest Health Council as well. So that's about all I have to update right now.
Thank you. That sounds really exciting. Yeah, please keep us updated on that. I feel like that could intersect nicely with some of the things that we're talking about. So next on the list is to talk about the proposed recommendations for the full council meeting. And I think I'm going to kind of roll agenda items 4 and 5 together because I think that they're related. So I don't remember if everyone was on our last call, which was, I think, 2 Mondays ago. But we had done an activity where we took some of the pain point and themes and rolled them into possible recommendations, and then prioritized those. And so we ended up with 3 recommendations that got some like plus signs, which was how we were voting for which ones we think are the most relevant or important or exciting that we want to keep working on. So from those 3, we were diving into them in our last meeting and had a lot of really good ideas around them. And I think something that stood out to me, and I followed up with Amy Moyer after the meeting, is just kind of a follow-up. And we were talking about how these ideas are really timely and important, and each one could be a really, really big project, and we don't know what the recommendations are going to look like. Are they going to be administrative recommendations? Are they going to be legislative recommendations? So trying to figure out what those recommendations will even look like as we move forward with them. And so that kind of led us into this idea of, could we do some more like subject matter expert type committees, whether that be a subcommittee of this group or we don't know exactly what that would look like, but we're going to talk about that at the next Forest Health Council meeting, which is on Wednesday. So anyways, I guess my proposal here, and I am open to feedback on this, is to take the top 3 recommendations and share them with the council, but instead of framing them as recommendations that are finalized, we can frame them as these are topics that this committee has identified as being really important and that we would like to dive deeper into with some subject matter experts, both on the Forest Health Council, but also maybe some external people. So here's our top 3 priorities that we have identified, and we would like to, keep exploring them with the Forest Health Council rather than as specific recommendations, if that makes sense. So I'm curious if people have any strong feelings about that, and I'll just review really quick the top recommendations, which I think could use some wordsmithing, and maybe since we don't have a quorum here, we could do some wordsmithing and email it out for review. But the recommendations were to identify and remove barriers regarding unused authorization in the state revolving loan program that allows for financing related to forest health. Identified need for sustained investment in local wood processing and workforce development. This could be a viable wood stock study. And then the third one is allowing state grants to cover capacity, using the Forest Resilience Planning Guide to point to indicators of readiness and possible outcomes to help track success of capacity funding. Hold on, I'm seeing a chat. I am opening a chat. Yes, I can drop this into the chat momentarily. So I'll send how it's currently written. But like I said, I'm thinking maybe we could reframe them to be more of like topic areas is what's on my mind. So I'll put these on the chat, but I want to know how people are feeling about this idea of maybe identifying these broad problem areas and ideas, and then talking about ways with the full council of how we can maybe create some committees with more subject matter expertise to really dive deep into each one of these and make it really, really good, instead of right now they're pretty broad still. Go ahead, Courtney.
Okay, well, Katie and I have already talked a little bit about this. And I think just kind of from a process perspective, I don't know if this meeting is when we'll like vote to create task forces. I was thinking I could the idea gets brought up to the council, and then maybe for the next meeting some proposals are written, like we get feedback and council's like, I love this, or like I like it slightly different. And then I was thinking we could have I could write up some proposals and people could vote at it at the following council. But because I know in terms of task groups, there's the 3 themes that this group has identified. And then there's also going to be ones that the council, maybe are want to pull out of the 30-year vision and things like that.
Yeah, sorry if I didn't make that clear. I mean, we can't vote in this meeting anyway, but I just wanted to kind of give people an overview of where this is coming from, so it's not a surprise in the meeting. And also more the idea of reframing our recommendations into like broad ideas, which they mostly are broad anyway. And if that sounds okay to everyone, I'm mainly looking for any red flags here. But if that sounds okay, if I don't see hands, I'm going to assume that it sounds okay. And yeah, just wanted to make sure that nobody's surprised at the meeting when this stuff comes up. All right, I got 1 thumbs up. I got some things in the chat. All right.
Looks good to me.
Cool. Sounds great. Is there anything else anyone wants to discuss ahead of Wednesday's meeting? All right. Well, in that case, I think let's just keep it a short meeting for today. And I'm really excited for the discussion in Wednesday's meeting when we can bring these ideas to the bigger council and talk about some next step forward. All right. Can I get, oh, wait, we don't need a motion to adjourn. I'll just say goodbye. Laura, yes, I can stay on.
Thank you.
Or if you want to
Bye.
call. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of your week.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye. Laura, do you just want to call me? So that
Sure,
we're-
I can call you.
The chat.
I have to